space station. It's a moon.
Hey guys, it's Lord of the Pogs. You heard that correctly. It's not a space station, it's a moon. It's Saturn's moon, Mimas. Is it Mimas or Mimas? I've heard it both ways. Either way, Mimas is one of the strangest objects in the solar system. At just 246 miles in diameter, it has about the same land area as Spain, and it's the smallest object in the solar system known to be round because of its own gravitational pull. Its resemblance to the Death Star, which is said to be 87 miles in diameter, is purely coincidental. Mimas was not seen up close until 1979, more than 2 years after the release of the first Star Wars film. Mimas was discovered by British astronomer William Herschel on September 17, 1789, using a 40-foot reflecting telescope with a 4-foot aperture that he built at Observatory House in Slough, England. Known as the Great 40-Foot Telescope, it took 4 years to assemble and was the largest telescope in the world for 50 years before being surpassed by the Leviathan of Parsonstown or the Ross 6-foot telescope built by William Parsons on his estate Birr Castle in Parsonstown, Ireland in 1845. Mimas's low density of just 72 pounds per cubic foot indicates that it is primarily water ice with only a small amount of rock. Mimas's most distinctive feature is a giant impact crater 86 miles across named Herschel after its discoverer, William Herschel. Herschel's walls rise 3 miles high, parts of the floor measure 6 miles deep, and the peak at the center rises 4 miles. The crater is almost a third of Mimas's whole diameter. If a crater of equivalent scale existed on Earth, it would be 2,500 miles wide, the size of Australia. The walls of the crater would rise 87 miles. The deepest parts would be 175 miles deep, and the peak in the center would rise 115 miles. By comparison, Mount Everest is 5 miles high, and the deepest point on Earth, the Marianas Trench, is 7 miles deep. So the walls of the crater would rise 17 times higher than Mount Everest. The deepest parts of the crater would be 25 times deeper than the Marianas Trench, and the peak in the center would be 25 times taller than Mount Everest. Whatever hit Mimas almost shattered the moon. It literally sent shockwaves across the surface. And these shockwaves are still visible on the surface today. What would happen if an object of similar size to scale hit the Earth? Mimas has been visited 4 times by passing spacecraft. Pioneer 11 flew by in 1979, but it wasn't until the Voyager probes flew by in 1980 and 1981 that the giant impact crater was observed for the first time. In 2010, Cassini made the closest flyby of Mimas at just 5,900 miles. Many of Saturn's rings are what are referred to as shepherd moons. They help keep Saturn's rings in place. Mimas is one of these shepherd moons. It's responsible for the Cassini division, a gap between Saturn's A and B rings. Now, Mimas is wobbling on its orbit. One explanation for this could be an underground ocean, as is speculated on 2 of Saturn's other moons, Titan and Enceladus. That could even open up the possibility for life on Mimas. So an underground ocean would be really exciting, but it's just hard to understand how an ocean could survive for billions of years on an object as small as Mimas. And there's no telltale signs of an ocean, as on Saturn's other moons. No surface cracks caused by tidal forces, no geysers of water like erupt from the surface of Enceladus. Cassini detected variations of temperature across Mimas's surface, and it appears to be frozen solid, far too cold for liquid to exist. That in itself is another mystery. As the closest moon to Saturn, Mimas should be much warmer. there should be a greater chance of an ocean on Mimas than out on Enceladus. So, scientists developed the Mimas test. Any theory that attempts to explain why Enceladus is warm enough to contain liquid water must also explain why Mimas is frozen solid. So far, no theory has passed this test. So if there's no ocean, why is Mimas wobbling on its orbit? One explanation could be that whatever created the huge impact crater, part of it is still buried there, putting Mimas off balance. Thanks for watching. There's 100 more mysteries surrounding Mimas. Far too many to go into with the limited amount of time we have here. But if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that little bell in the corner to get notifications on more videos like this one.